in his belief of beating the system. Lenox's body began to glow, and the building began to tremble.
Easy. Control.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lenox Justifier of Innocence, created by Zeus and Demeter to save humanity. I'm here as the character Josephine, and with me today, this beautiful little baby here is Mr. Buddy the guard dog. So before we start, I did just want to say welcome back, and for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you will stick around and give the channel a chance. I did just want to go through a brief introduction and just let you know a little bit about the channel in case you're new. This is a fantasy justice channel where superheroes and mythological gods unite in the fight to save humanity, led by Lenox, the goddess, who is the Justifier of Innocence. A lot of the topics that we cover are loosely based on real-world occurrences, and some may even trigger emotional response, so we did want to forewarn you on that. All of the justice is carried out in fantasy and imagination, and this channel is designed so that you can either just listen like audiobook, or you can watch and enjoy the dramatizations as they go along the screen. I try to provide some images, some scenery, to help along with your imagination as you listen to the stories. This particular series that we're working on right now is the rise of cannibalism. So we started off with Magnata's case, a case that occurred from Montreal. So it had come to my attention that we have been experiencing a rise in cannibalism. So we wanted to take a deeper look into why these horrific crimes are happening, get some fantasy justice, and figure out a way that we can be more vigilant, stay aware, see the warning signs early, and try to prevent these type of crimes from occurring. So with that said, we are going to get started. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you at the end when I will give you a recap and just give you a little insight as to what is coming next on the channel. Enjoy the show.
To recap, we had left off where Lenox had instructed Amalia to gather information on Magnata so that we can have a better understanding of his likes, dislikes, and what makes him tick in order to deliver true justice. Amalia spent the next couple days looking into Magnata's background. Like most people in the world, his early days were faced with some challenges, according to him. His parents were mentally unstable and cruel to some extent. He later went to live with his grandmother when his mom could no longer care for him, while he finished attending school. Later, as a young adult, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and started receiving a disability allowance in order to supplement his income. He supplemented his income with sex work. He also began performing in sexual videos, which led to an obsession with becoming famous. He legally changed his name several times, trying to come up with the perfect stage name. He tried modeling, had a lot of plastic surgery procedures, and auditioned for several TV reality shows. He attempted to become a famous influencer. He created about 100 profiles in order to boast about himself. He even lied about being romantically linked to a high-profile criminal in order to gain attention, all while carrying out various crimes, such as swindling a mentally disabled lady out of money, forcibly, inappropriately sexually touching of women, amongst other physical harm, and for which these crimes he was simply just put on probation because he hid behind his diagnosis, seeking sympathy from the judge. Amalia came to speak with Lenox. Lenox, I have done extensive research on his condition, and according to the information I uncovered, his condition is defined as such. First and foremost, experts do not know the cause of it, but to surmise that it can be one or a combination of genetics, environment, altered brain chemistry, and structured. It is triggered by viral infections, toxins such as marijuana, and high stress, among other mind-altering drug use. Is diagnosed by a mental health professional by observation of his demeanor and asking them about their thoughts, their mood, and their delusions and hallucinations, and substance abuse. Lenox responded, "Okay, I don't mean to sound insensitive, Amalia, but this doesn't apply to many people today. Everyone is dealing with extreme stresses. Pot has been made readily available, and drug use is rampant. The family unit is broken. People are working multiple jobs." I mean, it sounds like an excuse to me. Oh, I know. As I read on, it did divulge other symptoms, none of which the perp magnata exhibited, such as memory problems, difficulty focusing, disorganization, withdrawn, and lifeless. That's interesting. I agree that he did not exhibit those symptoms. Magnata's acts, in my opinion, don't fit the diagnosis. His actions were carefully planned out, very detailed, and fully executed. From his attempts of trying to become famous, creating all of those profiles, to carrying out acts of animal cruelty on video in an attempt to go viral, to carefully crafting a plan, luring his victim in by manipulation, putting an ad in the papers, and carefully crafting a date scenario with dinner plans. It is clear to me that he knew exactly what he was doing. And the fact that he ran shows that he understood that it was wrong. And then he tops it off by searching for himself online to see if he was a trending topic. He clearly showed zero remorse. He was clear and concise in his plan and execution and attempted escape from prosecution. But the police and the community were thankfully smarter than him, and that's why he was caught. Using this mental illness as a defense is complete bullshit in this case. It is merely an attempt to mask the fact that he is just pure evil. That's it. Evil. It is completely disrespectful to those who truly suffer with the condition of schizophrenia. A complete injustice to those people. Many people have had the same and similar conditions, and yet they do not lure people in to meet their demise and then eat them in perfectly male body parts like a prop in a sick, twisted thrasher film. And now he's in prison, living his best life, believing that he's famous, getting fed, a roof over his head, with a spouse, and access to exercise, a library. Are you kidding me? There are good, God-fearing, law-abiding citizens out there with so much less. And on top of everything else, he left the surviving family members to endure the loss of his victim, the grief and the fear that they have been left with. I'm going to go to that prison, wherever he's being held at, and he shall relive every single evil act, every bit of pain, physically, mentally, all of it. But before I do that, I need you to do something for me, Amalia. What's that, Lenox? Scrub him from the internet. All of his aliases, every bit of information on him. Only leave information available for law enforcement. I want you to scrub all the news, all the articles, all the media clips, his mention in reality shows, social media, newspapers, anything and everything. Fame and notoriety being so important to him, and obviously a driving force, we're going to take that away. Erase him from existing in that sense. He is not going to get what he wanted. I can certainly do that, Lenox. That's easy. Consider it done. Lenox made her way to the prison. Amalia and Olgard waited close by, guiding Lenox through undetected, while Leska and Carlita Ane distract the prison staff. Leska and Carlita Ane set up a meeting with the warden to discuss a program that is going to aid in the rehabilitation of the prisoners. That meeting was to be conducted later in the day after lights out, so the prisoners would be out of the way. This will make it easier for Lenox to go undetected to Magnata's cell. Lenox made her way through the ductwork. Amalia was guiding her through, while Olgard coached her on controlling her emotions in order to better control her powers.
Breathe, Lenox. Focus. Remember, this is what we've been working towards. We don't need any unnecessary explosions or mishaps drawing unwanted attention.
Lenox's mind was going in many directions. Thoughts of how to reform the correctional system, the judicial system as a whole, and implement better protocols on mental illness diagnosis and treatments. When she approached his cell, she could feel him. He was sleeping, content, and smug in his belief of beating the system. Lenox's body began to glow, and the building began to tremble.
Easy. Control.
Lenox took a deep breath, closing her eyes and refocusing her energy on the task. Justice, now vengeance, she whispered to herself. The building stopped shaking. As she dropped down into the cell, she woke him. Startled, he sat up in the bed. Shh, she silenced him, and then showed him how his presence no longer existed online, in the news, anywhere. The only ones that knew of his existence was law enforcement and his victims. This made him lose his shit. He jumped up to swing at her. She knocked him back down. He was raging at the thought of losing his fame. And then he began to convulse. Lenox had put him into a catatonic state, where he was living through the evils he had done. From the pain and torture he inflicted on the animals, to the fear and violation of his victims of sexual misconduct, to the humiliation in the financial crimes, all the trauma, all the fear, all the pain. He was experiencing the horror he put Jun through. From the moment that Jun realized he was in danger to the feeling of that first cut to his flesh, the complete dismemberment of his body, and the violation of his remains. He lived through it all in his mind, and yet, no remorse. He did not repent. He was not sorry. And this was not surprising. Pure evil rarely is. The only pain he felt, besides some of the physical pain, was the loss of his fame and notoriety. That was all that he cared about. Lenox had anticipated as much, and so she left him there, convulsing, where he would later be found and placed in a private cell, condemned alone to live out the rest of his existence, experiencing all the evil that he has committed, with no husband, no fame, and zero possibility of being released back into society. Justice has been served. In that moment, his victims and their families were enveloped with a sense of peace. A cloud had been lifted, and their pain was eased. On to the next case.
So that is going to conclude this episode and also conclude this particular case. Now at the end, during the discovery portion of studying the case and looking at the details, we came across some things that I think as a society we need to take a better look at in order to understand and have better process and programs in place to help those who are exhibiting signs of either mental illness or who appear to be on the verge of committing crimes. Maybe something that we can do in order to intervene, counsel, and make others aware of what is going on so that we can prevent these type of tragedies from happening in the future. So just something to think about. We try to take, these horrific cases and try to learn from it, and try to get something, try to see the good side. I mean, it's hard to see good when things like this happen, but make it as like a learning experience so at least something good comes from it. Now, the next case is another case of cannibalism, and we're going to take a look at that, do a dive into what happened and what led to it, and then go into the justice portion of it. So the next video will be for the Lenox series will be either Thursday or Friday. We try to always get them posted by Friday the latest, preferably Thursday, but sometimes, depending on the work week, it can be Friday. And the next one you have to look forward to is Mr. Betty's video here. So Mr. Betty and Friends, that is the lighthearted, fun videos that is meant for kids but is enjoyable for adults as well. We try to put a lot of humor in it and just make it fun for everyone, so something that you can watch with your kids and enjoy. So you have that to look forward to, that we post either on Sunday or Monday the latest, so you'll have that to look forward to. So I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for watching. If you can remember to just hit like, subscribe so that you never miss a video, that'd be greatly appreciated and it really helps us out. So we will see you. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of your kids, and God bless. I'll see you next time.